Welcome to Destination BC's Guide to Working with the Travel Trade, a 6-part video series. We recommend you watch this tutorial following the previous 2 videos in this series, Who are the Travel Trade and Why Work with the Travel Trade. The learning objective of this video, How to Work with the Travel Trade Step 1, Get Ready, is to understand the components required to do business with the travel trade in an international marketplace. Here's how the course will work together. And here's what we'll cover today. Who should work with the travel trade? Really, any supplier to the tourism industry. Transportation, accommodations, restaurants, attractions and activity providers, any business that is export ready. Let's discuss what it means to be ready. In other words, what it takes to be ready to welcome visitors, both locally and internationally, and what should be on your checklist to determine if your business is properly set up to work with the travel trade. There are 3 categories of readiness. Being visitor ready refers to a business that has all of its licenses, permits, and insurance in place to operate legally and is ready to offer products to consumers. Being market ready refers to a business that markets itself, communicates with potential visitors year-round, and is ready to accept advance reservations. Being export ready refers to a business that markets to and through the travel trade, understands net rates and commissions, and has client relationships at each level of distribution, including contracts and financial transactions. At minimum, to work with the travel trade, you want to be visitor and market ready, plus carry adequate insurance. For example, a minimum of $2 to $3 million of liability insurance for an adventure product supplier is recommended. Have a sales and marketing plan as well as a budget that includes working with international tour operators. And be willing to include receptive tour operators in your sales and marketing plan and provide them with contracted net rates. That's a lot to cover, especially for small tourism businesses. So, in Destination BC's online learning center at destinationbc.ca, you will find an easy-to-use, detailed checklist that will help you self-evaluate your business to see what level you are at, and if not yet export ready, what components you need to work on to get to this point. Conducting this assessment is arguably the most important step you should take when considering working with the travel trade. If you are not ready, you will only waste time and damage relationships with potential travel trade partners. Once you have determined that you are indeed ready, you'll need to get your house in order to work specifically with the travel trade. Let's go through this list of requirements. Starting with licenses. Your tourism business must be in business for a minimum 1 year and be in good standing with all required licenses and insurance. To welcome the international visitor, a tour operator may ask your business to verify that you meet their standards for health and safety, and ask you to supply information or a signed verification confirming your compliance. It's not common, but you should still be prepared. For example, if the service is related to transportation, they likely and should legally ask in advance. For accommodations and food services, typically licenses and permits are posted on site. It is important to have your pricing policy in place before you approach the travel trade. You want to ensure that you have enough profit built into your price to offer a commission to the trade for their sales. As you can see in this diagram, each component in the tourism supply chain has a cost. Traditionally, receptive tour operators take 20 to 30% off your price to create a net rate. This allows for tour operators and wholesalers to then mark up and to provide a commission for travel advisors. In the end, the customer pays the same price as your retail rate. This does not mean that each hotel room or admission is now going to yield 20 to 30% less than you anticipated, unless you expect to get 100% of your sales through RTOs or tour operators. In reality, your sales through these channels will represent a small percentage of your business volume. Block inventory. RTOs and tour operators often require a tourism business to provide guaranteed inventory, referred to as a block or room block in the case of accommodations. This allows them to immediately confirm a reservation with their customers prior to confirming the booking with the tourism business. The block does not have to be at the same level over the course of a year. For example, a hotel might agree to have 20 rooms blocked for May to September and 10 rooms blocked for October to December. The size of a block should be reasonable for your operations and should support RTOs and tour operators in effectively selling your product. Block inventory is typically released 30 days prior to arrival. However, the number of days for returning the block is negotiable with RTOs, as it may vary depending on your specific circumstances. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Nevertheless, once the contract is signed, both parties are bound to adhere to its terms and conditions. This means that any of the unsold rooms or seats are released back to the business, ideally giving you the time to sell the inventory through other channels. In markets where travel patterns have shifted more toward last-minute bookings, a tour operator may also request a tiered or gradual release of their block. For instance, if the operator has a 10-room block, they may retain 3 rooms until 2 weeks prior to arrival. It is essential that a tourism business regard a block as sold until it is released back to you. If you sell rooms or seats out of this inventory and the operator finds there is no space as previously agreed, they can take legal action. RTOs and tour operators begin planning their programs approximately 12 to 18 months in advance. This means that tourism businesses wishing to work with international markets must be able to provide rates, blocked inventory, and other information this far in advance. Tour operators often begin their marketing a year out, and international travel advisors often secure their flights well in advance. You can understand why when you consider the process. The product manager from the RTO or tour operator negotiates product across Canada, including every export-ready option they will offer to their customers. They must confirm all legalities with each tourism business, obtain images, put together their tariff, which is a catalog of product and pricing, upload content online and publish in print, and then market and sell their offerings around the world. Many BC tourism businesses that have seasonal products, such as skiing or wilderness lodges, close down during their off-season. Small business owners are often out of the office during the day working directly with their customers, for example, leading a tour. However, international markets often expect a 24-hour turnaround on a booking request, so if you are interested in working with tour operators, you'll need to have a plan in place to respond. Once a tour operator decides to feature a product or destination, it will often take several years before it begins to sell. Also, it may never sell. A tour operator will usually keep new product in their brochure for 1 to 3 years to evaluate its potential, but they make no guarantees. So, patience is required when working with the travel trade. It is a long-term investment. Due to the uncertainty experienced over the pandemic, cancellation policies have become even more important. Most tourism businesses can accommodate FIT cancellations and often do not extend penalties provided there is sufficient notice. However, with group travel, such as a block of hotel rooms, it is typical to charge a cancellation fee, depending on the date of cancellation. Generally speaking, it is hard for RTOs and tour operators to work with a tourism business with a cancellation policy of 60 days or more. However, the specific cancellation policy also hinges on your capacity and the locations where services are offered. For instance, a remote wilderness lodge might necessitate a cancellation policy of 90 days or more. Ultimately, the terms are open to negotiation to best suit the circumstances. Any special terms and conditions should also be communicated. An essential aspect of your partnership with an RTO or tour operator is direct billing. You must be able to extend credit to the operator. allowing them to pay you after their customers have experienced your services. Typically, RTOs and tour operators will not provide you with a deposit. Given they work with thousands of suppliers worldwide, they are unable to issue a payment every time a reservation is taken. Most pay net 30 days. Vouchers are documents that tour operators provide to their FIT customers, which they in turn exchange with a tourism business for services when they arrive in person. The service or tour will be pre-booked by the tour operator and prepaid by the customer. The expectation is your business is able to accept the voucher and, of course, bill back to the tour operator upon receipt. A signed contract will be required between the RTO or tour operator and your tourism business. This protects all parties and clearly details what each partner must deliver. Your contract will outline the details of your product and must be specific. Confusion may lead to tour operators and customers expecting something you aren't supplying. For example, a full-service spa when you only offer a hot tub, or a full ocean view when it is partial. The more detail you provide, the more you are protected, and you will build trust with the operator you are developing a relationship with. In Destination BC's online learning center at destinationbc.ca, you will find a written Working with the Travel Trade Guide, which provides suggested inclusions to consider in your contract, but you can quickly see the items you should address listed here. That concludes this video, How to Work with the Travel Trade Step 1, Get Ready. All of the information covered in this video is also available in Destination BC's online learning center at destinationbc.ca in the Working with the Travel Trade Guide found in the Travel Trade section, including the easy-to-use checklists that will help you self-evaluate your business to determine if you are export ready. We encourage you to continue learning about the travel trade by watching the next video in this series, How to Work with the Travel Trade Step 2, Selecting Target Markets. Thanks for watching.